Hello, geometry students. I'm taking a look at your quiz for the online students, Geometry Unit 3, Parallel and Perpendicular Lines. So use the figure below for questions 1 through 4. So name a plane parallel to plane DEF. So DEF is this triangle up here. So you want the one plane that is parallel to this plane. So it's going to be a triangle also. You could slow this video down as much as necessary. Number 2, name a segment parallel to FC. So here you have a line FC, the segment, line segment FC. So you're going to want one going in the same direction, parallel to it, and you have two choices. You just pick one. Number 3, name a segment parallel to AB. So here's AB, and you're going to have just one possible segment. It's going in the same direction, it's just above it, and that's going to be parallel to AB. Which segment is parallel to AB? Name a segment skewed to DE. So DE is right here, and you're going to want to choose a segment that's never going to touch DE. So you can't choose FD or FE or EB or DA, okay? And you don't want anything parallel to DE either, okay? So you don't want AB. You're going to want something that's going in a different direction in a different plane. Okay, so that's going to be skewed to DE. Name that segment. There's 3 possible segments for that number 4 that you could choose from. Just pick one. Okay, if LM is parallel, that's what that means. Identify the angle pair as congruent or supplementary. Justify your reasoning by classifying the angle pair. So when we have parallel lines and we have a transversal, okay, if we have an obtuse angle, more than 90, and we're going to have the other ones are all going to be acute, right? Less than 90, okay? If we don't have all 90 degrees, half of them are going to be obtuse, the other half are going to be acute. If one's obtuse and one's acute, it's going to be supplementary. That means they're going to equal 180. They're going to make a line, 180 degrees, okay? Congruent means they're both obtuse or they're both acute, okay? They're the same measurement. So let's do that first. For number 5, angle 1 and angle 8. So take a look at angle 1 and angle 8. So this one looks acute, this one looks obtuse. So does that mean congruent or supplementary first? And then angle 1 and angle 8, they're on the same side of this transversal. Okay, they're exterior, they're outside, so you got to include that in your classification of those two angles, okay, when you classify that. So you're going to use the name of those two. How are they related? Moving on to number 6, angle 5 and angle 6. Angle 5 and angle 6 are right here. Notice this one is obtuse and this one's obtuse. So they're both obtuse. So does that make them congruent or supplementary? And then classify these angles that are right across from each other. There's a word for that. It starts with a V. What kind of angles are they? I'm going to put that here in number 6. 6 and 8. 6 and 8 are right here. Notice this one's obtuse and 8 is obtuse. They're both obtuse. So does that make them congruent or supplementary? And then, you know, they're on the same side of the transversal. So that's going to give you a clue how to classify these. They're both in the same position with the parallel. You know, it's to the right of the parallel, to the right of this parallel line. So, you know, how would you classify those? What's the name that gives the relationship to these 2, 6, and 8? For number 8, 2 and 3, I have 2 and 3. Okay, 2 and 3, notice 2 is acute and 3 is acute. Less than 90, less than 90. So they're both less than 90, so what does that make them? Congruent or supplementary? And notice that they are on the inside of this whole structure, and they're on opposite sides of the transversal. So that should give you an idea of what the name for these are, and then you're going to put that in the classification for number 8. For number 9, 4 and 7. Here I have 4 and I have 7. 7 is obtuse, 4 is acute. So I have one of each. So does that make them congruent or supplementary? The classification. These two make a line. They make this transversal line. So if they're right next to each other and they make a line, there is a word that starts with the word line and just has a different ending to explain what 7 and 4 are. They're this kind of pair. That goes for this classification for number 9. For number 10, 3 and 6. 3 and 6. They're on the same side of the transversal. This one is obtuse, this one is acute. So we have two different ones. We have one obtuse, one acute. Okay, one obtuse, one acute. Does that make them congruent or supplementary? And then the classification, they're on the same side of the transversal. They're right after each other. They're, this one and then this one, they come next to each other. They're right in line with each other, in other words, and they're on the inside. So what words would you use to classify them? Okay. It's good to mark this one if angle 3 is 74. So this one's 74. So all the acute ones are going to be 74. So all the other ones that are less than 90, like number 3, those are all going to be 74. Okay? On the other side, like 8, this is going to be 180 minus 74. So all your obtuse angles are going to be the same. So anything more than 90, so 8, 7, and a couple other ones over there, are going to be whatever 180 minus 74 is. And you're going to write all your answers here in A through G. I really hope this helps, and good luck with this quiz.